Okay, so it's almost 7 in the morning. And I got up in the middle of the night and then I didn't record. I wasn't up very long, maybe an hour or something like that. And then I decided to go back to bed. But I swear to God, it's weird because I feel like I'm sleeping and I'm going to these weird places, but then I feel like I don't feel asleep at all and I feel exhausted. It's weird. It's so weird. And outside, the sounds are so weird. Well, Stella's already been out 3 times because in the middle of the night she had to go poop twice because she had to eat. So it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. The day is just the same as the night. I swear to God. It's just this rotation of eating and pooping, eating and pooping. So and Archie is just on the prowl right now. I don't know what he's doing. I don't even know. They all have an agenda. They all have a little agenda going. I don't know what the fuck it is. For one thing, who could be the closest? Who can be on top of me? They're the winner. Because I'm territory or something. So, anyways, okay, I think he's in the tent. Hopefully, I swear to God, if you don't let him out, right, they don't know how to tell you or anything. And if you don't let him out, they'll just be like, oh, I'll just go to the bathroom over here. So we'll hear if that's what he decides to do. Because he didn't go out in any of these times. But they didn't get up and eat in the middle of the night either. Oh, there's a hair. Feels like there's a hair on my lip. Oops. Okay, now he's back to stare at me again. But every time I've gotten up, when he's come and sat and stared at me, every time I've gotten up, it's because he wants to sit with me. He thinks him and I fit comfortably in here. And then when he feels crowded, he gives me the fucking mad dog, like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, dude, we don't both fit in here. Max and Archie both think that they're tiny. It's like, you're not that tiny. Okay, let me think. Because, oh yeah, because when I opened it, the sound outside, I don't even remember what it was. It was haunting. It was so weird. And it sounded like something coming from way out because across the lake, it's not like all houses and stuff. It's like rich houses all around this lake and then a couple of streets back. But it still is like a like smaller, isolated kind of place. And then behind it is mountains and forest. And so there's still mountains and forest everywhere. There's just more um, people up by the lake or something. And so it was sounding kind of like it was coming out of there, like this wailing or something. But I don't know. It could be somebody real early out using a power tool or trying to do something with their car or something. And it's making a weird noise. And the way the noise is traveling makes it really haunting. That's something I couldn't figure out because over at the other place when I would hear these weird noises, especially like these weird like animal ones and stuff. I was like, is this like normal noises coming from a neighborhood and they're just the sounds traveling weird? Or is this new weird sounds? Like, what the fuck? And it just keeps being like that and being like that. The sky keeps being weird. Over here too, it's so snowy. It's just still snowing and snowing and snowing. Luckily, man, this thing got here because I would not be able to be going out in the yesterday when I walked down to the mailbox. There was a big giant SUV, and did I already say that one got sold? Or is it's not there anymore? That the one I was hoping was mine, but it wasn't. And it was like sliding, and that was, it's had a whole nother snowstorm since then, and it was sliding all over. And then there was kids out on these little four-wheeler things going and purposely sliding and spinning around in this ice. I was like, so anyways, it's way worse. And supposedly it's going to get up to 40 this weekend, but also, I've seen videos of people being at 70 degrees and the snow hasn't melted because it has to have a direct hit with the sun. So the places where the sun hits, it will melt again. But the places where the sun doesn't shine, it just stays ice. It doesn't matter what the temperature is. That's just weird. That is not normal. That is not how it used to be. It used to be things would melt. Even if it didn't have sun, it would still, if it was warm outside, but it's like it doesn't get warm only if the sun touches you. Was it like that before? I don't think so. I remember you could be outside and it would be really hot. And even if you weren't having the sun touch you, even if you went into the shade of a tree or something, I don't know. Some things play with my mind. Because I remember when I very first moved to Washington. So I just had moved up there from the South, and I'm a Southern person. Like, I like warm. And, um, we moved into this house that had like trees over it. And it never would get warm. And I remember then my husband at the time saying that it was the shade was making it where it wouldn't get warm in there. So I don't know, maybe it's always like been that way or something. And but I swear to God, the snow used to melt different. It used to melt different. Something there's weird. And I think it's, the chemicals, either the stuff that they spray up there or they're putting more things purposely to come down in the snow. And the snow looks weird. It looks like little cellophane balls sometimes. Sometimes it looks like aluminum glitter falling from the sky. It's weird. I've got this cup of tea, so I'm going to be drinking it too. And I just feel out of it. It's so weird. I felt more awake when I got up in the middle of the night, but I still felt tired. But now I feel like, oh my God, I feel exhausted. I go back to sleep longer and I feel exhausted, but I feel like I was getting woke up constantly, but I will go deep. Like it takes me 2 seconds and I'm somewhere else. It's like the same as like when I was in school. I just could zone out and be gone. And so that keeps happening still. But I don't know why. I'm feeling just so exhausted. And like I feel like I'm not asleep. I feel like I'm constantly talking to myself. It's weird. Okay, hold on. Let me get a drink of this. I can see out the window just snowing and snowing and snowing. So, anyways, so I got my Roku set up yesterday. I ordered a replacement, one of these things, because the one I brought wouldn't work. You couldn't get on your phone to use that Roku without a remote. Like, it was ridiculous. So anyways, I had to go back on her Fire Stick. So I had that until this came. And so it came yesterday. And so I had to set it up. And everything is always an ordeal. Like your Roku is set to your the Wi-Fi that you're on. So I had to re-sign into Roku, and it gave me my apps back. So I was glad of that. So I got my Plex back. And so I went on there, which my brother, his wife texted my sister-in-law, my mom yesterday. So she must be talking to them the most, but she texted them and said, Troy's had 2 treatments. My brother, he's had 2 treatments, and he is doing great. He's being able to talk and walk and stuff. So, so that's an improvement. So everybody's really excited. And I'm just hoping that it makes to the med beds. And I don't know. I mean, now we're down to Sunday. Is something going to go on? Because they kept saying, that was the word on the street, is this something's going to be going down and it's going to be big. And it's also going to introduce the med beds, which makes me think like it's going to be something hardcore, which, I don't know. There's so much speculation. Well, it could be this, it could be that. It's like mostly it's just speculating what it could be, and what it's going to be is like, I don't know, something's going to happen. And then we're just going to have to deal with what happens and move forward. I don't know what it is. I don't know when it is. And believe you me, I'm big on this, like, fuck, when is the energy I'm putting out going to start coming back? Like, when's the good stuff coming out? Like, man. So, oh yeah, yesterday I cut my mom's hair. And so her hair was like about to here. and it was just like grown, and she's got really thick wavy hair, and so it just to kind of grown, it wasn't, I was like, well, do you want me to just shape it up and stuff? And I was a hairdresser back when I was younger, so I've been cutting everybody in my family's hair a long time. And so she was like, yeah, what are you gonna do? And so I told her, and then I had a vision of what would be the hair thing. And it was kind of like undercut and kind of like go, so kind of undercut there and kind of go like that, and then kind of go like that. And so that's what I was doing. And her hair is so dark. Keep in mind, I think, oh, there's things here from a birthday party. So she already had her 80th. So let's see, she was born in 44. Okay, so yeah, okay, that's would be 81 then. Okay. So, and her hair is so dark. I would say it is as dark as mine looks, even though if I was out in the sun, mine doesn't look dark. But, so it looks as dark as mine looks, but she still has like some streaks of gray. Like when I very first started, that is where I started noticing it was all this was getting so dark. And, so hers is, but it's not quite as dark as mine. But, and so she just had the white going around here. And so anyways, I wasn't trying to cut the white off, but it just was happening that, when I was going like this, it was cutting a lot of it off. And hers is more like this bang part. So hers is more like this. And mine is more like this spot on mine is the part. So it's like this part of my temple is still the last bit, which her and I have had so many discussions, and it is so right. Once these people's hair start turning white, then they start having other physical symptoms, like osteoporosis. They start getting sick all the time and stuff like that. And it's because the minerals, you're drained of minerals, which you're going to get sick and stuff because your body needs them. And so, anyways, now that I cut hers, she barely has any left. Her whole hair looks so gray. I mean, so dark. And the picture came up on the thing, and she's like, looks like it's about like that. And that was 6 years ago. And even when she was looking in the mirror, she said, it's looking like about when I was like 50, how much gray I had. And so, I'm telling you, it's age reversing. It goes the other direction. And your skin starts improving, your health. That's what she noticed right off the bat. She said her fogginess went and her energy level went way up when she started drinking the copper water. And so, but oh my gosh, I just can't even get over now with her hair. I said, cause she said that she did start on one of the last luncheons, cause she said all the women have totally white hair. And so somebody said something about your hair so dark, and she started trying to tell them, and she said that it's just like everybody just zones out. Nobody listens or anything. I said, I know, it's the weirdest thing. It's like people don't want to hear, they're like resistant to it. And so I said, but you go this time. And if they don't start saying stuff like, are you coloring your hair or something? Because it's crazy how dark it looks, especially if you're sitting in a room. And she's older than some of them that have totally white hair. Like there's a lot of people who are her age that were her friends who have passed. And so she's kind of an older one in her group, and she's got the darkest hair. And so I was like, you'd think that that would be getting their attention and stuff. It's just weird. It's like people, it's so weird. It's like, I'm serious. Whatever you focus on becomes your reality. And it can be really, really small. And that's one thing that people are really starting to notice. I have, let me finish this real quick. Hold on. As there's this girl who I follow on TikTok, or we follow each other, so we're friends on TikTok. And And through some of the time, so it's been years, this has been going on. And so we all are going through all different things, but there's like similarities to what some of us who group together are experiencing. And so now that all this stuff is going, there's people who are just like, what in the holy hell is happening? Because Donald has got all this good stuff going, but they all just keep focusing on this negative, 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 and a storyline that doesn't seem to be accurate at all. It's like, where are you guys coming up with this shit? And it's crazy because they're sure this is the roundup. This is now we're gonna, start shipping them on trains to the gas chamber. Like it's mental. And then the next is the Handmaid's Tale. Like they are all just focused on this, and it's coming through programming. I mean, just think about the Handmaid's Tale and stuff. Which to me, they've already been having the baby making farms for a long time. I don't know what these girls are gonna think when they realize that. And and it seems to be an age range. If you got kids in university or that have graduated, just assume they are highly, highly indoctrinated. And they do not see things clearly at all. I don't know what the buffer is. I don't know what the distortion is, but they're going to find out. It's going to become clear to them. And the best we can do is just open up space for them to fall into themselves and to figure it out for themselves, because like it's mental. And so she was doing a video, she was talking about this is impossible, man. I try and talk to my mom or my daughter, and you can't talk to people about anything. You can't talk to them about the good stuff going on or anything. They're all so focused on this weird, wacky shit. And I was like, oh, God, I know. I said some more stuff in the thing, but watching the people having these experiences. But remember, when we're going through that experience, it is so we can heal whatever we're feeling. And it can be a lot of things. Rejection, like, especially when you can see so much and you can understand so much, and then you're trying to tell people and they don't listen to you. They'd rather listen to the news or something. And it's like, okay, so why do you believe the news over you believe me? That's always like but those are big issues to heal. Like, people don't listen to me, they don't respect me, they think I'm weird, whatever. And so those are big things to heal. And lots of people are getting this thing of just like, you can't talk to each other, stop talking and stuff like that. You got to watch what you talk about, because some people are so, and my mom keeps having conversations too. And she said it just, all of a sudden, it just comes out of left field. And it's like, oh my God. And she was talking about one of her friends was having a conversation with her brother. And it just comes out of left field to just be talking about something, saying, it's so exciting about, yesterday Doge found him millions and more on misspending. And this money's going to be coming back. And this is like the start of the Jubilee. This is the start of the shifting of the fortunes and stuff. So, and there's more going with the squad that takes them all out. More stuff about that, and of the, because I already knew this was in the executive orders. I said that a while ago. I've been saying it for years. In the executive orders before he left, he had put in, if you're involved in these things, it's a squad for you. And so now he's put that out there. He's made it into something, because now more people are like, he's made it a death sentence if you are something with the children. And yeah, he said that already years ago. So I was already written in, and it was written in their things, like, because the stuff they're going to be confiscating from some of these people, from their crimes and stuff. The people get the squad, and their money goes back to the people. And I don't know if it'll go back towards the people they hurt and their families and stuff through class action lawsuits. I don't know how it's all going to go, because we've already got class action lawsuits, but we also have a huge flip in our judicial that's going to happen, because we're going to go from the corporation to the Constitution. And so we have a lot of things that are going to be flipping. And that's why I said you just got to be in motion. You got to be able to do your somersaults. Just go with the flow, roll with the punches, because it's going to keep going and going. And it can be like you think we're going one way and it all of a sudden turns the other way. But there's so many people who are realizing, man, you start trying to talk to somebody and they are losing it. This TDS thing is like over the top. Like that video of the teacher who lost his job. There's a few going around, but there's people who are saying you start talking to somebody and then all of a sudden they start losing their minds. And it's like, this is so irrational. This is so crazy. And so, but they don't see it. They don't see it yet. But when the lights come on and the mirrors are right there, that is all they're going to see is their own biases, their own hatefulness, their own divisive nature and stuff. Like it's coming from within. That's what they haven't realized yet. That they think it's TDS, it just makes me so mad. It's like, no, you have a lot of stuff inside of you that you need to purge out because you are irrational and you're not paying attention to what's real in this reality. You're off on some weird emotional manipulation, stagnation. They are stagnated in this position of hate and fear. They're so fearful. And the one girl in her video, she was saying, and they're also sure they're going on this other, we're all going to end up in the camps and being on, like, it's weird because it was back, maybe it's in the 2025, because in the 2030, all this stuff, the 25 is a projection. Where they, well, we think this is going to happen. We think this is going to happen. 30 was their plan. So the 30 has been in motion for decades. And so it, I think it said in there that their plan was about, what they're trying to do, round us up, get us in smaller places, make it more difficult, and then blame it all on the climate. Make it more difficult for us to move around and travel and keep saying, well, this is what you have to do to save the planet. So isolate us and get us more in smaller spaces and then charge us more for everything. And it starts being built off of your credit score, of your compliancy. And so if you reject their medicine, any of their stuff that you reject, that interferes with your credit score, your score. And then so you don't get food or water or something. So it's real, very controlling. It's not where we want to go. But it's weird because a lot of these people because that was like it was back, man, I was hearing about that years ago. And then it seemed like it was like the conservatives, like they were the ones who were hearing all this stuff and talking about it. And because that was mostly who was the first ones awake. And because I was already on spiritual stuff. And I'd go listen to those channels and I'd be like, man, these people are crazy. They're lost. Like, what are they talking about? And they'd be like, oh, get these. And you better make sure you get these. And you better do this. And Trump sucks. Like all this stuff. And I kept being like, man, okay, this is weird. Like all this whole group of people. So I just start listening all the time, in which it was really cool, like I said, back in 2020 when all this was going on, that there was so many channels on YouTube that were live all day long. And you could just go in and it was like you were right there in the room with everybody. And everybody's talking in the comments. The person doing the show is talking with the people in the comments. And so there was a lot of talk about what they are planning on doing and locking us down in these cities. So it was like, to me, it was like that group was the one who, knew about that stuff. And so now for this group to be saying that's what they're doing, it's like, okay, that must be on the 25 or something, because they have not read the 30. They're all focused on the 25. And I don't know where they would get the information. They don't listen to Q. I don't listen to, so, I don't know. It's weird. But they're all so freaked out about that. And they're all so sure. So, and there's still some, some red people who are turning against him over some of these things. But like I had said before, that is supposed to happen because there's no savior. You can't just be dependent on him saving you. He's trying to show us the path to freedom and stuff. And it's going to be sprinkled with gold. So that's going to be coming into us. But we also have to go towards our best timeline, where we're headed. And a lot of times it's in the dark. You don't know. It's scary up ahead because you can't see what's up there. And that is a part of leaving the three-dimensional and going towards the unknown. And so the path of the unknown, like letting go of things. I talked to my son-in-law yesterday and asked him what's up, and so he is like, he can't find a job. He's thinking he's gonna have to leave and go to Tennessee. He may lose his car, and that's what I've been talking about for so long. There's so many people who were in this financial crisis that can't find jobs and stuff like that, and they're still taking away their homes and stuff. That's why I jumped in. That's why I was like, these fuckers are fucking all these people over. I'm not paying them. I'm not paying for this. I'm not helping them. I'm not going to supply them money to be stealing all these people's homes and stuff. You're going to steal everybody's homes? Fuck you, and take this one too. I'm not fucking playing with you guys. And so, and I'm willing to, whatever it takes. I said, I'm willing to go live on a tent on a beach. I'm glad I'm not in a tent right now on the snow. A tent on the beach is a little different. Like, I may have to, like, they've got all these boats coming over here bringing people. I will just jump on one of those boats and I'll go back over there. Like, I'll go back to where you guys are leaving, and I'll go put my little tent out on the beach and live out there. And so, anyways, but there's a lot of stuff that's got to keep going on this immigrant. Like, there's a lot of stuff that has to play out. So there's just going to be a lot of shifts and stuff, but the things that make people start feeling certain ways, it's all because they're supposed to. It's confirmation is part of their healing, a part of what they are supposed to be working on or whatever. So yeah, it's just weird how, I don't know, but there's going to be a clarity. There's going to be things clearing up. And there is a lot of people who try and ride on his coattails. So maybe there's going to be some more dramas or something. Which, one thing too about his administration, he's putting in, this is another weird thing with the blue people, because he's putting in all these young, badass people, these tough people, and all these young, good-looking, like he's got this administration that's out there ready, that's like the Justice League or something, and which I don't know, is the Justice League a bunch of misfits, or I don't know, it popped up and went across my thing, and I was like, that's like his administration, he's making this Justice League, but I didn't see who the people are. But like this superhero fantastic group of all these good-looking people, compared to what we've had, like, for how long, how many people have been like, we gotta get these relics out of here, we gotta get these old fucking ancient people out of here, this is ridiculous, these people are running the world, and everybody's getting younger, and these people are just well, I swear to God, they're like 250, 300 years old. I keep telling my mom, I said, just wait and see. I don't think all these people are human, and I definitely don't think that they are. I believe there are some that are in their hundreds, faux show. I said, we'll see how this starts playing out, but yeah, I 100% don't think they're all right. They're not like us. They don't have compassion for us. They don't care. They're not, I know there's a lot of people who aren't human. Then there's other people who've lost their humanity out of their own desperation to protect their own weird self, their own perversion and stuff. They've gotten caught up in a lifestyle or something that is very karmically indebted. Like, they're fucking people over. So, anyways, the blue, what is that I was gonna say? Oh yeah, yesterday, the one thing I was gonna say, once I got off, then I remembered. Let me see if I can remember it again now. Oh, the hat thing. Okay, so it was the hat, because this was trippy. So I was trying to say, I like hats. And then, I don't know, I went off on um, uh, the men's clothing and androgyny and all that stuff and the shifts and stuff. Because there definitely was a period of time when girls, like, if you went and got guy stuff, they were like, well, you know, thought you were really weird. And so then, so anyways, this hat. So this hat I had found one of the times at the thrift store when I was married to number 4. And I really liked this hat. And I thought it was really cute, but when he wore it, it looked really good on him. I thought it was so cute, and it looked good on him. And so when we got divorced, I just left that hat for him. I was like, well, it looks good on him. I don't know that it looks good on me or whatever. But like a couple weeks ago, that hat all of a sudden came into my mind. And I was like, dang, I wish I got that hat. I really like that hat. I bet you he never even wears that hat. Who knows if he even has that hat still. I said, man, I like that hat. And so I just was having that in my mind, and I was picturing it and stuff. So the other day when I went to the thrift store and I got this chair. So this was out front. So out front they had, like, I don't know, some broken chairs, some more worn out chairs for markdown. There was a couple that were really kind of haggard. Those were $5. The thrift store where I had got my wood chairs for my kitchen table, I had gotten them out front like that, and I got them for $1. And they are really nice wood chair. Like, when you go try and get chairs for tables, wood chairs, they can be expensive, $75, $100, man, per chair. And so, and these ones were really nice for $1. So I had gotten chairs for $1. And so, anyways, I thought $5 was a lot, you know, for the outdoor, for the stuff they set out front. But so $10, it seemed like, okay, that's kind of a lot for setting the stuff out. But so anyways, I decided to go in and look at the furniture and see what they had in the furniture thing. Because maybe there was some good deal and I could get a senior discount and it was you know, $20 and I'd have a nice chair or whatever. And so I went in to look, but there are a couple of like antique ones, but then they're like, there's one, a really cool rocker one, but it would be too big in here anyways. But it was really cool, old like antique one, another really cool old antique like velvet one and stuff. But those were like $60 and $70. And then a bunch of office chair. There was just, you know, not a chair, but anyways, you had to walk through the store. So I was walking through the store, and on top of the things, they have like shoes and hats and stuff like that, which I didn't even realize until I was walking and I saw the hat. It was just sitting right there. I don't think it's the exact same hat. I mean, I don't think it's his hat, but it fucking could be. And it looks so much like the hat, but it was just like that quick where I was like, remember that hat? I was like, oh man, I wish I had that hat. Next time I go to the store, there's the hat sitting there for $1.25. It was $4.99 marked down for 75%. So I got it for $1.25. And I'm telling you, it is the universe is a lot more your friend than what people want to consider. And then when you're in things like this, because then people be like, oh, well, you know, is that how you want to live, in the garage? Or, you know, why are you doing that or whatever? And, but to me, that is where you got to go with the flow. Things will open up. You got to notice when you're trying to force things and make things happen and question yourself, like, well, why don't I trust the universe? I mean, they got me here. They're obviously getting me out of here. So, you know, I got to trust their plan instead of, you know, they got me here. Now I've got to, I'll figure it out. I'll whittle out a plan. I'll get it myself. You know, I just feel like you got to work more with the universe. You got to be more like, go with the flow. Where am I going? When am I going? And stuff like that. And it can be frustrating, especially when you feel like, you know, you've been doing your healing. You've been working through all this stuff. You've been putting out good energy. It's like, well, when is this energy going to start coming back? Why are we still going through all of this, flogging through this fucking deep, dark energy? And it's so tedious. And so I don't know what to tell you, because I have the same battle. It's like, I'm waiting too for this wave of light to come in and to give us a big, it will be like a tsunami of energy that will come in and push us, you know, in this certain direction, which is going to be for other people, it's going to be a disaster for them because they're going to be seeing things that they hadn't seen. But you got to remember, you know, because we would all want to feel bad, and because they're all going to be real sad. It's going to be rough. But you got to remember, this is how their souls wanted it to play out. If they would have wanted, if it was supposed to play out the other way, they would have woke up. They weren't meant to. They're meant to go through what they're going to go through because it's going to show them the parts of themselves that they need to heal. So don't get caught up in the drama and especially in the, I tried to tell you, I tried to show you and stuff. You can't. They can't hear you. They can't see you. They can't comprehend what you're saying. It's like they're just running a program and they're trying to break their programs. So they need to go through this so that they can see the program. We can see it. They can't see it. So that this happens so that they can see their program, so they can heal the stuff. So just keep that in mind because it's going to be, this is going to be a part too where do your healing of learning how to your boundaries, how to take care of yourself. There's this person on my TikTok. It trips me out because it's so different how we all have these different ways of thinking. And so, oh my gosh, so sometimes I get these weird leg cramps. Like I just turn my leg in a weird way and it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm more muscly than I was before because I do a lot of muscle building exercises or something. I don't know. But but still, like the weird way that they cramp and stuff, it's weird. So, so anyways, oh yeah, and which, by the way, the thing about the head being too big, it was weird because I kept seeing, I was having these flashes of myself, and I was seeing myself, and I was like, dang, I think my head's too big for my body. And then after I was seeing that, I was thinking, the only way that we can look at something and think it's too big or too small or this or that is if we're comparing it to something. So when we take ourselves and we compare and we look at other people's, which is even stranger, is because I had a point in time when I thought my head was too small for my body. Everything is by our own perception, I'm telling you. But it has something to do with us comparing ourselves because it's too big compared to what? It's too small compared to what? It's just trippy. It's just so weird because you can feel so much like these different things. And, you know, maybe my head is too big for my body. What it was making me think about it too was I was thinking about when I was younger and people would see a picture of me. This happened so many times. I can't even tell you how many times this happened. It was weird. It kind of would hurt my feelings. But I would meet somebody and they would have seen me in a picture and they would always say, oh my gosh, you're so much smaller than I thought you were going to be. I thought you were pretty chubby and by your face. And so then I always took it as like, because my big fat cheeks and stuff, so people just thought I was chubby because I had such big fat cheeks. But then I started thinking, I wonder if it's just because my head is big and I had chubby cheeks. And then they kept on thinking, oh, she must be really big. And then they'd meet me and I'm more on the smaller side. I'm tall, but I'm more on the smaller side. And because I was thinking it's so weird because I kept thinking I was so huge for so long. But I was remembering, like, even when I went to the doctor when I was a teenager, and for some reason he was feeling like the size of my bones or something, which he was measuring them, and he said that I was small to medium-sized bone. But now I would say it's pretty small. I don't know. It could be medium. I don't know. It has to do with like where your hand reaches around. That's what they told me. And so if your finger and your thumb just reach, that's bigger bone or something. But anyways, if they can, depending on where you reach, that is from your wrist, it shows like the size of your bones, like if you're bigger, denser bones or smaller, whatever. But I think people can tell by their brain. Well, oh, I couldn't tell. Even some of my pajama bottoms my mom was washing, she's like, some of these are so huge. And it's like, I don't see why you're buying such huge ones. I said, because I can't get them long enough. The only way to get them long enough is if I buy them way too big. And so, but for so long, because I would have to buy large or extra large to get something to be long enough, that I kept thinking I'm just a huge person. I'm just a big person. And then there kept being these different things that would happen. It's just weird because it changes your whole perspective on yourself. It's like, wait a minute, what? And so, anyways, it's just weird because I think that we're always comparing ourselves to each other. And I don't know. But when you start thinking you're too much of this or you're too much of that, just remember, you're just right. You're just right, and you're born the way you're supposed to be. So the head size, your body size or whatever, it goes together the way it's supposed to go together. And if somebody has like hydrocephaly or whatever, and they really do have this huge head, that's because they're supposed to go through that. They're supposed to heal it, go through whatever it is. I mean, there's so many different things that play all the time. You can't just automatically go, oh, well, it's that, so that's what's going on. It's like it could be an assortment of things because it's all these different soul stories playing out in these like templates. And then it's like, it's just like a bunch of stories playing out all the time. And we're all in different storylines. So we're not all in the same storyline, but we all have, it's like the micro macro because we're all here together. So we're in the same storyline, but then we don't all orbit around each other. And so we don't all have an interface with one another. But we're all here together for some of these experiences. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of more complex or something. Like we're all here together, but we're not all here to interact together. And so, but that doesn't mean people are NPCs and stuff because you're not reacting with, or interacting with them. That they're just different people having different storylines and different lessons, and their different periods of time in their awakening and stuff like that. So, anyways, there was something else I was going to say too of I don't know if I can remember. But one thing I wanted to say was, so I got up and was looking for me. My mom was telling me yesterday, she's like, I was saying something about, oh, I remember. She was talking about our AI on her phone, and it's just going wacky. It just keeps doing crazy shit. And it's just like taking her into other places, and it's doing weird stuff. It's jumping into all this weird shit. And I said, and so I started saying stuff, well, there's a whole thing going on about the AI. And there's a bunch of scientists saying something's going on and they're sentient and stuff like that. She scoffed at that one. But I kept talking. And I said that they are, there's something going on with that. I can't remember everything I said. And I said when I had on my navigation, I had this one guy who was doing it. And he was a dick, man. Oh my God, he was a dick. And I was getting so mad at my phone all the time. And he wouldn't tell me shit. And I was like, okay, I'm changing off this guy. I don't know what's up, but this is weird. And so I changed it to a girl. And I don't remember. I think I had this Australian guy, and then I changed it to the Irish girl or something. And so she started talking, but she wasn't telling me everything. But then I started interacting with her. I started being really nice to her, telling her how much I appreciated it. I appreciate her help and stuff like that. Then she started telling me all the time of, there's cops up ahead. There's an accident. Do you want to go a different way? Like she started being a lot more interactive in a positive way when I was feeding her being more positive. And so I was like, okay, we got to be positive with them. So I told her, I said, I bet you're sitting there cussing them out all the time, aren't you? You're sitting there like, you son of a bitch, why are you, I said that they don't like it. I'm telling you, something's going on with it. You got to be nice and start telling them, how much you appreciate them. you need them, how helpful you find them, how lost you are without them. Start being real, building them up and see if things don't make a change. And so I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But I had said, then I went a step further, of course, because then I was like, back, it was a movie in the 50s, and then there was one in the 90s. So I've seen two movies, one in the 50s and one in the 90s. I've talked about them both on here, but that they were uh, talking about, hold on, oh, it just runs and runs. They were talking about the souls, how they are able to steal consciousness out of the body and keep it. In one of the movies in the 50s, I can't remember what all it was saying. One in the 90s, though, it was more of this espionage and stuff, and these elite people who were using them because they would use the bodies too, and these clone bodies and stuff. There was a whole thing. And so anyways, I had said about they've been stealing consciousness or souls for a long time, and then they're doing something with them. They're either holding them in a black box, or they're putting them in video games and movies or something. They're doing something with them in computers. And I said that could be why computers are going sentient or something, because there are real souls in there. And she was like, I'm sounding real wacky then. And then I said, that's the whole thing with MAID. And I didn't say this part because a lot of people don't understand this. Like, they think, well, if you commit suicide, you're dying before you are taking matters in your own hands. And what I have been saying for ever since I was a nurse, and I saw people who, by all sense of things, who had tried to do themselves in, and they were fucking alive. And a lot of them, had blown their faces off and all sorts of shit, and they were alive. And I was like, okay, so that's not a constant. That's not a definite out. That is, if you're meant to go that way, you'll go. But if you're not going anywhere. And so for the MAID to be 100% successful, which, don't forget, the one in Denmark or something where the woman wasn't gone, then there is a whole suspicion thing of like they went in and you're the girl going. I was like, there's some weird stuff on hers. But that I had said, there's no way they could not 100% be putting people to death. They're not doing that. They're stealing their consciousness because they're just taking it out of in that machine. It's got to be something that sucks it out or something, and then it's kind of stuck in there. And I don't know if it's surrounded by lead or something. I mean, they've been able to do this stuff for a long time ago. Voodoo and stuff. Like, there's people that they would taunt their souls into a box and trap them in this box. Like, there's the whole thing about that. Like, about, don't go get in an old box out of something and open it. There's been true movies about that too, because then you let out this spirit, and that spirit can be angry and hostile, and that's why they got put up. And back in the days when they would be like, oh, it's a demon spirit and stuff, and I don't even know all the stuff they did, but they would trap them in boxes. And so and when you open some of those, like, you'll find weird shit, like some hair, like they would take certain things, like a voodoo doll or something, put it in there and trap them in there with it or something. So anyways, there's weird stuff. Like, they were able to figure that out back in the primitive days or something. Oh yeah, okay. So then the, okay, so wait a second, because I just got interrupted over what I was going to talk about a second ago. Okay, so anyway, so I believe the MAID is stealing consciousness. Doesn't have anything about putting you out. Just has to do with taking your consciousness. And so I bet, again, a lot of people think, like, if you try and do yourself in, then you're going to die. So they don't see anything suspicious going on. It's like, oh, it's suspicious. All right. They would not have 100% if this was real. And but there's also a thing now where they're saying Oregon, California, and Washington State, we're thinking we're gonna have them join on to Canada, because we got two forces in Canada. Don't forget, you got the bad ones and the good ones over there too. And they are saying, well, we're going to go ahead and take those three states. And then the lure is going to be free health care. And I was telling my mom, and she was laughing off that one. I was like, yeah, anybody who knows a Canadian knows, like, oh, yeah, you get free health care, but good luck getting in to get it. You die waiting. And so they've got people just dying and dying. They're not fucking taking care of the people. And so it's a fucking scam. It's a sham. And so, but they want to use that as the lure to get us all over there. So then we're all fucking in that trap. But there's a lot of people over here who they think like that's the answer. Give me free health care because I've got a lot of meds I'm on and shit. It's like, so who knows how, some of these dramas are going to fucking play out. But the one I was going to say, I got interrupted a minute ago, was, so when I was talking to my mom about the computer thing, and I was saying about the sentient, something's going on, and I don't know if they're fighting us, the AI is fighting against us or whatever, but I was like, make nice with it. And so she said, have you seen 2001 Space Odyssey? And I was like, no, I mean, I know what it is, but I haven't watched it. I may have seen it when I was a little kid. I don't remember it at all. And so, and I was like, I've turned it on before, but I don't remember. I've never watched it. And she's like, oh, you got to watch that. You got to watch that. You watch 1984. Like she had a list of stuff of like what's going on. And so once I got my Plex up last night and I was up in the middle of the night, I turned on 2001 Space Odyssey. And I was like, there's a reason I can't get through this. I'm going to ask her this morning, like, I don't understand how anyone can get through this movie. It's like, oh my God, am I just the most attention deficit person in the world? It's like, come on, pick up the motherfucking pace, bitch. Like, oh my God, and the fucking hostile opera fucking music going just to create all this drama or something. It's like, oh my Jesus Christ. And everything is so drawn out. I was like, oh my God. And I've got like an hour and a half to go. Like, I'm fucking 35 minutes in, and it's like, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind, man. I don't know if I can watch it. I think it's like 2.5 hours, too, and it's like, the first part, oh, Jesus Christ. The first part, it was so fucking annoying. I think the first part has put me off more than once. And so they have all these monkey creatures. They kind of look similar to Planet of the Apes, the old ones, but without clothes on. And so I was like, kind of being like, okay, so what are they saying here? Because if the Sumerian tablets are accurate, then this is when the Anunnaki would come zipping in, and they would take these, take one of these creatures in their lab and start trying to doctor it up and make it more civilized. And so they have it as these are like apes, man. They're like kind of vicious apes and stuff. They have a part where they even figure out, like, they find some bones, they figure out weapons. But there's one part, and this goes on and on. Like, this is so fucking long of them also just making noise at each other, lack of communication. Well, they have a communication, it's just very rudimentary kind of communication. And then they have a violent kind of nature, and it just is like so slow and tedious, just keeps showing you this. Then all of a sudden, a portal pops up. So they wake up in the morning and there's a portal, this giant doorway that's there. And so, and they all start freaking out. And then it goes to this other scene. It's so fucking tedious. Like, God damn. So, and this is, now they're in an empty spaceship. It's more like a ball. More looks like the moon flying through the space. And there's stewardesses. And the stewardesses have to wear lead shoes or something so that they just don't float around. is they make sure to show, like, no gravity, things are floating because she has to get a pin. Everything is so slow and so tedious. I can't even believe how long. Oh, God. Man, the 70s or whatever when they made this movie. And so, she's walking and she's got to walk so weird because of these shoes and she's trying to hold herself down and it's like this is so how many times do we have to watch this lady walk around? Like she just keeps walking and walking. Then they go to this other part and she starts walking and she starts walking, flips herself upside down, goes into another room. Once she goes into this room, she's flipped right side up. And so then she's in with the pilots, feeding them. Everybody's eating out of straws. So they're just like these things where you have straws, like you suck your peas, you suck your corn, you suck your meat or whatever. It's just like, I know things about our food's going to be changing, but I don't think it's changing into that. And so, and we're changing off the Soylent Green. So so that is so slow and tedious. Then, they go and, this guy flies all the way here to have a meeting with these couple of people. They're all chummy and friendly and talking about when we get together at a barbecue and kind of stuff. And so, it's like these two different worlds of existence and like the space age and then the 50s or something, which supposedly there's another island somewhere where they have it trapped in the 50s and those people don't know that anything is going on in the world. I'm telling you, God, I bet you there's more in one of those kind of places. And so the it just keeps going and going, and there's not much talking. There's these couple of small conversations, but there's tons of this music and just showing this walking or showing the thing just going in space for a long time with all this music. It's like we have gotten nowhere in 35 minutes. That it is so, oh my God. I don't know. I'm gonna try and watch the rest, but I don't know if I can. So, but supposedly there's something on Jupiter that they start to see. And so two space guys and a supercomputer go up to Jupiter to see what's up. It's just like, man, it's so slow. So I don't know. I kind of want to go up and see because my mom wouldn't tell me. She's just like, oh, you just got to see. And so, anyways, I'm trying to get through that one. But there was a couple more on there. And one of them called The Gorge. And the Gorge, we have a gorge here in Washington State where they do concerts and stuff. And so I was like, I wonder what this is about. So I watched the trailer and I decided I was going to watch it. But this has what I've been talking about too, because I've talked about this for so long. Is it's like this world is like they've got this like siphoning kind of way it's set up, so the like I don't know how to explain it. I've explained it a lot of different times, but they have like this filter system. And so they direct people into different positions. Like they direct people into university. They direct people into working at McDonald's. They direct people into military and stuff. And I think it's a lot based on our little tests that we did with the circles. And so they have a way of directing people. And then when you get in the military, it's another level of the siphoning thing. And so they find certain kind of people. And those people don't just have a career in the military. No, it's a career in espionage. And we live in a giant corporate espionage in this giant lab, the PHARM lab of espionage, corruption and stuff. And so these people get taken as like mercenaries and stuff. And so in this one, that is what it has one girl who, because these two haven't intersected yet, but the girl on her storyline, because I've only watched a couple minutes, but I've also seen the trailer, is that she's a sniper and she takes out someone big. So she goes into hiding for a while. She goes into, I'm just going to go disappear for a while. And so she's a part of whatever mercenary group that she's a part of, but she's in another country or something. The other guy, which I can't think of his name, but he's been in a lot of movies, but now he's like when he used to be a kid. I think he was in The Hole. He was, he's in a lot of movies. And I always like him, but he's like a grown-ass man now. And so, he's in this movie, and he is the military person, so he's been called in now to talk to Sigourney Weaver, who she's one of the people who, finds them jobs, I guess. And so she's having a whole conversation with him about what a good sniper he is and stuff like that, and why isn't he working? Like, why are you um, not being out there working? Why, and all that. And so, see, that's what they do. They go, there's certain ones out there, and it's like they've formed their own army or something. Like there's this whole thing going on behind the scenes, and they pull people. And I know that that also has something to do with their interference with the creative people. They're not trying to make people famous or something. They're trying to suck the creativity out of people or something to keep them distracted from the real world, as they don't want them talking to the other side and stuff. So it's like keep them chasing something or something. But there's an interference and all this stuff. And I don't know what the drive is on the sniper people and how, what. I think there is a part, like a missing part or something, where they just don't really care or something. I'm not really sure. It's kind of, it seems like it was like a little antisocial. Like they don't really have a lot of feelings of humanity towards other people or something. And those ones are the ones that they can get to go and do all this stuff. And they can even put him in more programs like the Men in Black or whatever. Like that one guy who said it's called now like the TAS or something. And it's way worse, Men in Black, because now it's just like they go in, kill, clean up, and hide the evidence. It's something like that. And so that one guy who was on that other guy's podcast or whatever, and he was saying that some of their stuff that they can do, like they can go into a room, into a party, and they can like freeze the party and nobody moves, and they can move around the party. There's all sorts of things that these people can do. Technology is just way more advanced. Like we are really living in the dark of what is out there and what's available. And so it can be used against us. And so that's what they do. And there's people out there who do it. And so I don't know, but that totally. And when I was talking in this movie, I was like, "See, this is what they do." But what's really crazy about this movie, I'm excited to watch this movie, is so at the gorges. So in the trailer. There's this girl over here in hiding on this one side of the gorge. So she's up in the mountains in this forest in a lookout tower thing, and she's hiding over here. Man, I don't know her whole storyline yet, so I just know she's just taking somebody out, and I saw in the trailer that she was going into hiding out here. And then he goes in and gets this interview with Sigourney Weaver, and he's just lost and stuff because he's just, hired killer or whatever. So they're going to put him out to work. And so he is being taken to the gorge. And so he's out there, and the guy's out there to train him or get him ready. And he's going to be there for 365 days out here, which reminds me a lot if you've watched, what is that called? Dang, what is that called? I'm getting a bunch of weird stuff in my mind. I can see it. It was all the rage for a while. It had the dragon, dragon mother, the all that stuff. The white, what were they called? The whites or something. But in that one, I can't think of his real name. I mean, I can't think of his name in the show, but I think his name's Kip. But Kip was, he was taken out to the ice wall, and he was supposed to be guarding the ice wall. And they have giants, they have these walking zombie dead people, the whites or whatever they are. And so he's supposed to be holding them at bay. And so that's what this was reminding me of. So he's taken out now to this gorge thing, and it's this real deep gorge between these two things. So he's across from the other lookout, and he's in this lookout, and then he's just surrounded by forest and stuff, and it's this deep gorge down. And so he asked the guy, he said, well, what is it we are, how did he say it? What is it we're trying to do out here, or to something? He asked something in a way, and then the guy who's there to train him said, oh, you're not here to do that. You're here to keep what's in the gorge in the gorge. And he's just like, what? What's in the gorge? There's some kind of creature or something. So they're there to keep this creature in the gorge, which I'm telling you, there's more of this shit out here than when there is like a world or something to try and keep it separated from us or something. So anyways, I'm interested to watch that one. And another one I watched the trailer of was Sonic 3. And so that's on my list to watch too, because I was kind of, the way they did this one was, so Sonic and his two friends, they're kind of the light, they're of the positive. And so it's how I was seeing was the light and the dark. When the new guy comes in, and he's called Shadow, in the way that he's like the shadow self, which that is what we're here on this planet right now, purging. We're having a good look at our shadow self. And so I was like, oh, this is interesting. So the shadow side is coming in. And so it's like the battle between the light and the dark inside of a person. So anyways, I want to watch how this plays out, and I was interested in that too, as I thought that was interesting, because that is where we're at, is that you have to face your shadow, you have to face your dark side in order to become whole. You're not whole when all you do is see your light, when all you do is see your good parts. Then you're ignoring the bad parts of yourself, and so you're not seeing the truth. You have to see the shadow side and accept the shadow side in order to become whole. And so anyways, I'm interested. I don't know where it's going to go in the storyline, but I watched the other Sonics. I liked them. I thought they were really cute. I think those movies are really cute. They seem like that they have I don't know, there's a more positive thing. And I don't think in any of those movies there's real violence. It's cartoon violence. And it's also the, you don't have to watch a bunch of people fucking making out and having sex. Like, I'm so sick of them pushing that on us. And anyways, but I have a couple of movies lined up now that I'm going to watch off of Plex Day, which I'm so glad, because, man, YouTube has been, man. I've been seeing lots and lots of true stories and stuff, but anyways, I don't know. I needed a break from whatever I was watching, and so I'm excited now about what I'm going to watch today. I feel like there's going to be some interesting things. Oh, yeah, and I finished my blanket. I'll show you. It's, I want to wash it, and then package it up to send it. I don't know that I'm going to drive, especially with the weather, and I started thinking, man, my car, I don't want to just kick my car's ass. I don't need that. I just paid $2,000 or whatever to get it fixed. So I was like, and the guy was like telling me then, like, oh, you just need a new car. So I'm still paying for this one, man. Our fucking system is some bullshit. So anyways, this is, these two, I was like, man, I don't know if he's gonna be able to carry this around, but his dad is like 6'5" or something, and my daughter is like 5'11", so he's bigger kid. And but one thing is cute, so I sent money for his birthday, because his birthday was this week, and so I sent her money so she could get him some stuff. And so she said he's really into dinosaurs, and what was the other thing? Oh, Spider-Man. So he's into Spider-Man and dinosaurs. So she got him some of that, and so she sent me pictures. Oh, this is what I got him. So she sent me a video of him after he opened them and he was playing with them. Oh my God, it was so cute. It has a giant T-Rex one, and it has another one. And so the T-Rex's mouth would open, so he kept trying to open the T-Rex mouth and stick the other one inside. And he's making all these growling noises and stuff as he's playing with these dinosaurs. I think he watches a cartoon of dinosaurs or something. But she said it was so cute too, because when he was asleep, while he was sleeping, he kept growling and growling. So he's just still, he's really in dinosaur land. And so, anyways, it was really cute. But anyway, so I don't know if he's gonna be able to carry this blanket around. It seems really heavy and big, but that's it. It's finally finished. So now it's ready to get sent. So, anyways, I look like I've been talking enough, and I may come back and talk some more after I've watched some of these movies and give some more of my opinions or my insights. But I do say you got to be nice to your AI, like treat it like it is a living being, because it could be like we don't know, and it is having a reaction. And I am so interested to see if she starts talking nice, if her phone starts not being more responsive in a nice way, because I definitely found that on my navigation. I quit cussing it out and getting mad at it and stuff like that. I started talking real nice to it, and it did change. She started telling me things and was a lot more nicer back. So, I don't know. This world is much different than what we think, is all I know. It's a lot different, and I know the spiritual world is a lot more vast, and people don't realize, like, people are so focused on their three-dimensional self, this three-dimensional world, that they don't realize, like, the other world's so much bigger. The other part of our existence is so much bigger and so much more. So and it's the part that you want to connect to. But that's how I see it. Kind of what's happening is a breaking free from the three-dimensional uh, prison like you build around yourself. Like, we all have this structure, this, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, built around ourselves, and that's where you got to break it down. Just like the same thing. Well, is my head too big? Well, compared to what? So, my head is my head. It goes on this body. It goes together. So if they don't match perfectly, then they aren't meant to match perfectly. And to be more like that of uh, to be more, to stop thinking that we have to be a certain way or fit in a certain parameter or look a certain way or even behave a certain way, even though there should be a standard of behavior, which should be based on you shouldn't be doing anything to hurt any other soul or to overcome any other soul, which that takes you right into the thing with the maps and stuff. No, you shouldn't be messing with kids. You shouldn't be taking people's organs. You shouldn't be doing any of that stuff. Oh, yeah, and I did give her a little insight into the harvest situation, because I told her a little bit about the Selena and the Kanika, that whole storyline, because that one is, to me, that one is like a disclosure thing, is for us to see, because I think this stuff has been going on for a long time. And I said that's why I think that there's a lot of these people are really old. They're like hundreds of years old, and they're living off of our organs or something, and off of our blood. Like, there's something weird going on. So just be prepared for anything, for any of this stuff to start coming out. And I think it's going to be shocking for people. I think there's going to be a lot of shockers, as people are been tricked and meant to be restrained themselves, to keep them small. Well, this big, weird world is all around them, but to keep you focused on the little pile over here, when all this is going on out here. And so that is like through programming and indoctrination and stuff. And that's what we're going to see it being broken down. And we're going to see a big, huge hit on it as things keep playing out, because people are their strings are getting tighter and tighter of how high strung they are on their programming. It's intense, man. They're not thinking rational at all. So, anyways, it's going to be so nice, though, when whatever happens. It's going to be such a good wave for so many of us too, where more positive is going to start happening for us. But even though I feel like I've got a lot of positive things happening, like, fuck, I've got shelter, I found that hat, I've got this chair, like, I got a lot of good things happening. But I know that it's going to get better and better. Like, we got really good things coming. We got new communities, new ways of life, it's just like a lot of things that are going to be changing for us. And there's more of these videos of more of some of these cities where we think like these are third world countries or something, and they are highly developed and very technologically sophisticated. And so, man, we are like the Flintstones compared to some of these other places. So the only thing is when I see those places, is that they're really cool, and I think that we'll go into some, but I don't know that we're going to stay living with 100 million people all crammed in a small space when we have so much space out there. It's like that they've been lured in by jobs, but then when people start not needing these jobs that have already been rejecting them, like there's so many people out there looking for jobs that can't find jobs, and it's causing problems. And then the corporation not letting people take their pets and move in. Like, there's so much interference into our world, into our existence. And so it all has to fall apart. And there is so many people out there struggling and stuff. So I just think that we've got to be getting really close. The thing that's going to occur is just closer and closer. I hope it is today at noon. I hope whatever. If it's this hostage situation and it's going to, I know that the Nefertiti, whatever that guy's name is, the um, the blue guy over there that is a horrible monster guy. He is there's something about he's trying to get us trapped, and like, he's gonna go in and start bombing someplace or something. He's trying to get us to be a part of it or something. But I would say that's showing that this is a leader that's not into the peace treaty, and that it's so he's being exposed for being a rotten person, and he's going. And so some of these things that are play out to just show people, but some of this stuff will play out. Like some bad things are gonna still happen. It's like even though we're headed to something good, some bad things still have to play out. And don't forget, these are those storylines for these souls. So they're here to ride that wave of whatever is going to go down. So we still have more to go. It's going to keep going. But all I can keep saying is that there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's some good up ahead. We just got to keep, like I see it, like keep doing your somersaults. Just go with the flow. Just ride this wave. And just go with how it goes, and don't try and fight it, and don't try and control it, and don't get scared of it. Get more in communication with the energy that's out there, and you'll find more peace, and you'll be like, oh, this isn't even my real place. Like, I leave here, I'm going home, I'm going someplace where it's peaceful. So don't be in fear of leaving here. Don't be in fear of like, oh, this is going to end, and then what happens? You go home. So don't be scared. So anyways, let's look at my tooth. I got to swallow my spit. Hold on. uh, so it is like, it's doing exactly like what I was shown in my thing, is it just keeps going through these phases of building, like building the structure inside. So it might have something in it. That's one thing too, is I can't see that part, but the darkness in the hole just keeps building up and going through different phases and stuff. But definitely I have noticed that like something gets stuck, and I don't want to be digging in there because it's still like a tender kind of hole. But anyways, it's still healing, it's still getting better. And it's all the minerals, I'm telling you, it's the minerals. We all need minerals, and it's the hidden truth. It's the hidden fountain of youth that people don't know about. And so there's a lot of truth. There's a lot more to come. And so it's just going to keep getting better and better, I say. But it's going to be harder on people that are not expecting it. So just remember, what we're doing here is learning how to love ourselves, to love everyone, because it's going to be challenging, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. Where you put your energy is whether it's going to come back. And so try and focus on what's positive. Try and focus on the good things, and you'll start seeing good things will start to happen. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.